An American YouTuber by the name iJustine once said, "I'm dating my iPhone." Welcome to the Fact Check channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Apple Computer Incorporated was founded on April 1, 1976, by college dropout Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who brought to the new company a vision of changing the way people viewed computers. Jobs and Wozniak wanted to make computers small enough for people to have them in their homes or offices. Simply put, they wanted a computer that was user-friendly. Jobs and Wozniak started out building the Apple I in Jobs' garage and sold them without a monitor, keyboard, or casing, which they decided to add on in 1977. The Apple II revolutionized the computer industry with the introduction of the first-ever color graphics. Sales jumped from $7.8 million in 1978 to $117 million in 1980, the year Apple went public. The iPhone, a touchscreen cellular phone, introduced in 2007 was one of the world's most successful products, and the company has released several new versions since. Not long after the announcement of iPhone and Apple TV, the company dropped "computer" from its name to become Apple Incorporated, indicating that it is about more than just computers. Other popular products include iPad tablet and Apple Watch. Most recently, Apple has expanded its services segments with its credit card, Apple Card, Apple News for news, Apple Arcade for games, and the Apple TV Plus for streaming original content produced by Apple. Apple's latest devices were announced on September 12, 2023, during the Apple event at Apple Park in Cupertino, California, alongside the higher-priced iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max flagships. Pre-orders began on September 15, 2023, and the devices were made available on September 22, 2023. This year, there's actually a lot to love about the iPhone 15, as it's a much bigger upgrade than its predecessor. We now have the dynamic island across the entire lineup, USB-C charging, a 48MP camera, and a beautiful display that reaches double the brightness of the iPhone 14 with 2000 nits. It also packs in the A16 Bionic chip that launched with the iPhone 14 Pro. For the iPhone 15 Pro, we now have titanium instead of stainless steel, thinner bezels, and the A17 Pro chip. Plus, the mute switch is now an action button. And for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, there is a new tetraprism telephoto camera that can reach 5x optical zoom instead of the 3x optical zoom for the standard iPhone 15 Pro. iPhone 15 owners have had their shiny new device in their hands for a few days, and we're starting to get a better idea of the latest release from Apple. Most have had positive things to say about the iPhone 15, but it's not just the Apple detractors who are voicing the complaints. In fact, there's a number of widely reported issues with the new iPhone 15 that should be on prospective buyers' radar. Fortunately, most of these issues are fixable with a software update, and Apple has signaled that those are in the works. But is iPhone 15 the perfect Apple product that the consumers have been waiting for? Here are the reasons why you should wait. 1. Possible under-display Face ID. For years, many people have been waiting for Apple to do an under-display fingerprint or Face ID sensor. Though the fingerprint one is probably not going to happen anytime soon, the Face ID sensor is a better possibility with the higher-end iPhone 16 Pro models, if we're lucky. Ming-Chi Kuo, a respected Apple supply chain analyst, has hinted in the past that Apple could begin adopting under-display front camera tech starting in 2024. This would mean a larger display area compared to having the notch or dynamic island like in years past. But of course, other analysts like Ross Young, as well as Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, have disputed this and claim that this tech could become possible starting in 2025, which would mean it would have to wait until the iPhone 17. So while this could be a possibility, don't hold your breath. 2. The start of the iPhone Ultra era. In the weeks leading up to the iPhone 15 event, there were a lot of rumors circulating around a possible name change for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, with Apple possibly changing it to iPhone Ultra. Now that the event has passed, we can see that this did not come true at all. But the iPhone 16 could change this. There have been some reports that the iPhone 16 Pro models may even see a size increase, with the largest going up to around 6.9 inches while the standard Pro size may increase to 6.3 inches. This would be a good way to introduce the iPhone 16 Ultra. 3. A new telephoto camera for the Pro. One of the disappointing elements of the iPhone 15 Pro lineup is that only the iPhone 15 Pro Max is getting the tetraprism telephoto camera, enabling optical zoom up to 5x. For folks who don't like giant phones, the telephoto on the iPhone 15 Pro is once again stuck at 3x optical zoom. But this may change with the iPhone 16 Pro lineup. Rumors seem to indicate that since Apple may be making the iPhone 16 a tad bigger, there may be room to fit the periscope camera in both Pro models. One of the reasons that the tetraprism telephoto is only in the iPhone 15 Pro Max this year is due to the physical size of the device. For those who like big phones, the iPhone 16 Pro Max may also be getting a super periscope that offers even more optical zoom. It would be amazing to see an iPhone that offers a zoom range as good as something like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, for example. 4. A better iPhone 15 color may be released next year. Last year, the lower-tier iPhone 14 models came in 6 colors: Midnight, Starlight, Blue, Purple and Product Red. Yellow fans who already purchased their iPhone 14 must have been punching the air when Apple released a new iPhone 14 variant with a lemony hue on March 7. Of course, most users wrap their iPhones in a phone cover, but personally, I still prefer the chassis to be adorned in a color I love. If you don't want buyer's remorse, wait until Apple introduces its iPhone 16 next year. 5. iPhone 15 gets way too hot. iPhone 15 users are reporting that the device gets way too hot. Some users are claiming that the phones overheat during taxing mobile gaming sessions. Recording intensive, high-quality 4K video also reportedly causes thermal issues. Others even say that simply charging the device causes the iPhone 15 to sizzle. Some reports state that the phone gets so hot, it becomes too uncomfortable to hold for a phone call. Adding to customer testimonials, tech outlet Android Authority decided to put the overheating issue to the test and found that the new iPhone 15 ran much hotter than the latest mobile devices from Google and Samsung. Apple could likely fix at least some of the overheating issues with a software update. However, analyst Ming-Chi Kuo claims the overheating issue is likely caused by compromises that were made in the new iPhone 15's thermal design in order to achieve a lighter weight. For now, iPhone users will need to wait to see how Apple will address this. 6. A bug causes the iPhone to freeze during setup. Some unlucky iPhone 15 users were stuck in an Apple logo boot-up loop while trying to transfer data from their previous iPhone. Luckily though, this is one issue that Apple has already rectified. An iOS update released on launch day fixed the problem for users. New iPhone 15 owners should see the option to upgrade to the new iOS on setup. Users who do get stuck in the loop can take a short series of actions to reset their device and upgrade to the new iOS, allowing them to launch setup without a hitch. 7. Slow, laggy iOS. Some iPhone 15 users are also complaining of lag or choppiness while using the phone. It's likely that this issue is more related to the newly launched iOS 17 than the iPhone 15 device directly. Also, many apps have probably yet to launch an update for either iOS 17 or the new iPhone, so any degraded software experience related to that will be fixed as soon as those updates are pushed out. 8. The new iPhone breaks too easily. Arguably, the biggest issue facing the new line of iPhone 15s is the durability of the device. This is something built into every phone and isn't solvable with a software update. Some longtime iPhone users are finding that the new generation flagship phone line breaks much more easily than older models. 9. Fingerprint attracting chassis. As mentioned, practically everything we've just run down can be fixed or addressed with a software update. But what about issues regarding the chassis? iPhone 15 users have been reporting that the new titanium body is causing trouble, too. First up, dirt, fingerprints, and other blemishes are apparently much more common on these new devices. Others have reported scratches and even display alignment issues straight out of the box as well. Users who find issues with the phone before it even comes out of the box should definitely take it back to return or exchange it. It's unclear how many users are affected by these issues, but it doesn't seem to be widespread. 10. Day 1 purchasers can be your guinea pigs. Day 1 buyers are knowingly taking on risks that you may not have to deal with. iPhone 15 is a welcome upgrade for folks with older phones. The dynamic island finally helps Apple's standard iPhone catch up to Android when it comes to multitasking. The camera feels significantly improved, and battery life is long enough to get you through a day and then some. My initial criticisms also still stand. I'd love to see the regular iPhone gain an always-on display, since that feature is considered standard across almost every other smartphone in 2023. Precision finding for Find My would also be much more useful if it worked with more iPhone models. But overall, the iPhone 15 is a great choice for people who are committed to Apple's ecosystem, are upgrading from a phone that's more than 2 years old, and don't need all the iPhone 15 Pro's bells and whistles.